In 2003, an 18-year-old Alabama teen named Devin Moore became a murderer. Moore, who was obsessed with the video game Grand Theft Auto, had never been in trouble, had recently graduated in high school, and had listed to join the Air Force at the end of that summer. The boy shot and killed 3 officers who were trying to detain him for stealing a car. When Moore was apprehended several hours later, he simply stated, "Life's a video game. Everybody's gotta die sometime." My name is Ren Bishop, and I'm going to discuss how video games and media content lead to violence. About how many acts of violence does a child actually see? Researchers say that by the age of 12, a child can see 100,000 acts of violence and 8,000 murders directly through television or video games. The National Youth Violence Prevention Foundation claims 89% of the 70 highest-selling video games contain violence. That is a lot. Knowing this, how can you not believe that there is a direct correlation between media content, video games, and violence? There are a ton of acts of violence, murders, and suicides caused every year because of this. 61% of TV contains violence, and only 4% of violent television contains anti-violent themes, which basically states this is wrong. Zioye was 13 when he threw himself off the top of a 24-story tower in his hometown. The young boy was addicted to World of Warcraft, which is a virtual game. He left suicide notes speaking of being reunited with his fellow cyber players in heaven. The notes were written entirely through the eyes of a virtual character from the game. He also left no references in the notes to his parents or any of his family members. Sad but true. This could be your son or daughter. This could also be you or yourself who is a direct victim of violence. Parents should monitor what their children watch and play. As parents, you have the right and you should monitor both video games and media content. For instance, the National Youth Violence Prevention Foundation says that while often parents view or monitor what their children are watching on television or in movies, less than 48% know what they're doing with their video games. Children are so young and impressionable right now. If you simply take the violence out of what they see or play, you run a significant less chance that your child will commit violence on others or themselves. There is concrete evidence to support that children are more physically and verbally aggressive after watching violence in media and video games. Monitor and discard violence now. There is correlating evidence to prove violence leads to increased aggression in adulthood. No one wants to be the parent of an absolute psychopath. You protect your children from so many things daily. Why not add this to the list? From various studies, you may be the parent to a hellion or who is often in trouble with the law. You wouldn't want to lose your child either to prison or by killing themselves, now would you? You decide. Taking the first option of eliminating violence is the easy way to go. You will continue to raise a child properly without any serious problems caused by violence. So get off your feet and make a step. Watch healthy television shows with your children. Push the parental control button that's often on many TVs nowadays. Or take the best way possible and tell your kids to read a book rather than sitting in front of the screen all day. Be an authoritative parent and say no to media violence, and you will reap the benefits later on. Thank you so much for listening.